so Starfield has come out, and I almost considered waiting to play it because of a lot of the reviews and the negativity in them, but I decided to play it anyway. Day one, Game Pass, and immediately dropped it because this is definitely a game that will get better and better as the years go on. But right now, it's like similar to like Cyberpunk, but right now it's not at a place where I'm like, and it might never get to a place where I'm really interested in it. It just might not be for me, honestly. It feels like it's in early access. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with early access. It's just that AAA studios don't like to say that because the thing is, they've been working on this game for a very long time, and they're
Yeah.
going to be working on it for even longer to make it even better than it, even better. And sometimes I think when you're working on a game for so long, unless you're Rockstar, which is the studio that makes GTA and Red Dead Redemption, which they're gonna take their time, make the game as good as they want to, and then release it, whenever they want to. But with a studio like this that's making an RPG specifically, I think it's understandable that you like after a certain point of development, you're like, okay, the game's at a state to where I want to release it. It's not done, but we just have to release this game because we've been advertising it for so long.
Right.
So it's understandable that you'd want to release a game a little earlier than it being at 100%. Early access. Other indie studios do it all the time. It's just that AAA studios, I just feel like it's a they're a little too proud to admit that the game's not done and that they're releasing it in early access. But
Yeah.
like if you just say like, hey, the game's not finished. This is early access. You have to pay full price because this is a really big game, but it's still going to get updated and get better, and those updates will be free since you bought the full game.
Right.
And yeah, just have some patience with us as we continue to make the game better. Like if AAA studios were just more transparent about stuff like that, I think people would be okay. There will of course be some jerks online who would be upset about it, but ultimately I think most people would be like, okay, you're being transparent, you're being honest, rather than just releasing an unfinished game and pretending like it's finished, which this is a very clearly unfinished game being released, and them pretending like it's finished and also pretending like it's something that it isn't, which is they 100% advertised it like it was No Man's Sky. You want to know what you can't do? Fly from planet to planet. you
Yeah.
you cannot manually land on any planets. You can only traverse through planets through a star map. You can fly around in space around planets a little bit, but if you try to fly towards a planet, you cannot enter the atmosphere and land. Somebody did a video where they were flying towards a planet and they left, went to sleep for 8 hours, came back, and they were inside the planet,
Oh.
and like the planet just
Oh
disappeared and they
no.
could only see the space around them. Like this game is just not what it was advertised as, and it's unfortunate because
Very
I wanted this
unfortunate.
I wanted this to be the first Bethesda RPG I could actually get into, but it's not. And then maybe
That,
it'll
that, that's the curse. I
yeah,
swear, all their games are cursed.
but maybe like all the other Bethesda games, after a couple years, it'll get much better, and I'll finally finish it up. But until then, it's just not for me. And Cyberpunk was a completely different beast with the studio execs kind of forcing them to crunch as well as you know just having it rushing it basically. Like if that game was actually worked on as long as everybody assumed it was worked on, but really it wasn't. Like it was made in 5 years versus the 10 years people thought it was made in. Like if it was actually made in those 10 years, it would have came out even better than the version that's about to come out very soon is. But it was that's basically another game that even though it wasn't on purpose, was released in early access in a lot of ways, and it has slowly gotten better
Yeah.
over the years. And now the actual version of what I consider to be the full version of the game comes out very soon in a couple months. I think October, November, and I'm finally gonna check it out. So I'm excited for that.
Mhm.
Which I
Yeah,
did send a like this CGI trailer they had for that DLC. Did you manage to check that out with Idris Elba?
I did.
It
I
was
did.
really
It looked
good.
really nice.
That was a
Yeah.
really good CG trailer, and it just like it looked too good because a lot of times I was like, that's just Idris Elba sitting there. That's not like a CG version of him. That's just him. They just put him in the
That's
video game.
Idris Elba.
That's just Idris Elba. But yeah, it was really good. I'm very interested in that DLC story.
Mhm.